What were the best DC comics released in 2024? I got a top 5 for you. Hey, welcome back to John's Comics with Kids. I'm John, and I'm doing my favorite part of the year, which is looking back at the whole new comic book day sphere and trying to narrow it down to my 5 favorites. I'm going to do a video on Marvel. I'm going to do a bit video on some indies as well, but I'm kicking it off first with DC Comics. It was a very good year for DC, and I will say at this point, I really only have one Marvel book on my regular pull list, and the rest are DC or Image. So it's been a heavier year for me as far as DC books go. So it was kind of easy in the sense that I knew my faves, but hard in the sense that narrowing just to 5 was kind of tricky. I also spent a lot of time, thanks to recommendations from all of you, catching up on some series that I had kind of maybe let slack a little bit. So I've been working my way through a lot of backlog of stories that people recommended to me. So I appreciate your recommendations. I'm going to kick it off with a book that I've been hot and cold on at different points in the last couple of years, but has really finished strong, and that's Birds of Prey. This has been a really entertaining series. Kelly Thompson, really talented story writer, and I think has really done a great job with an eclectic team of characters. I'm a big Barda fan, so any comic where putting her a little closer to front and center has been great. Obviously, Black Canary being the leader, she gets the focal point, but this has been a series that had a great volume 1 right out the gate. That first storyline, if you can find it in a trade, is well worth it. The second storyline dealt with interdimensional, multiversal kind of stuff, and I didn't like it as much. The third storyline was much better. It got back into sort of that heist mentality where the crew has kind of got to work together to solve an issue that they're having. So I liked the third volume that they just sort of wrapped up most recently. That's been one of the better ones again. So hot and cold. I didn't hate the second volume, but it's certainly not as good as 1 and 3. If you find a way to catch up on it, I highly recommend it. Let's jump over to another one that I feel like gets talked about a lot because of great artwork, and I'm talking about World's Finest from Dan Mora and Mark Waid. I just read, this is the 4th volume that was released just before Christmas, I think, and I absolutely loved this. This is a Kingdom Come related storyline, hence the Superman version that you get here. Really, really great. Dan Mora's artwork is always stunning. He does such a spectacular job with these heroes, which is why they gave him the new Justice League Unlimited series. As long as he keeps drawing the art in this series, I'll keep buying it. I do believe he's come off of it recently and that the last story arc he's not done. But the next 2 volumes, the next 2 hardcovers that I've been collecting are going to get dropped, one in, I think, February and one in June. Those will both be Dan Mora volumes as well. And I just haven't been disappointed by it. It's just a real fun, classic comic book. It almost has a little bit of comedy, but a lot of just great comic book lore, right? And so you're getting a little bit of the Justice League, but it's mainly Bruce and Clark, and then, other characters in and around them coming in and out. But really, really great. And anything with Dan Mora, I'm probably going to enjoy. Next up, we've got Poison Ivy. This is a series I was really ecstatic about. And when the main storyline ended, I think it was around issue 25 because they're now on 29. Yeah. I took a break because I was like, oh, it was like a pressure release. Ivy's back in Gotham. She's back with Harley. She's got great friends again, like Killer Croc. I felt like I could take a little break. And then now that I've caught up on the second storyline, the one that's sort of ongoing right now with her living in the swamps of Gotham, it's been really great. And not only is this a great cover buy, because you can get so many great variants, but I'm really enjoying the journey of Ivy becoming an anti-hero instead of an anti-villain. And I think the more they dive into that side of her, I think the better this series is going to be. And I'm looking forward to it. I really do feel like this is going to be a character changing run that eventually, when collected in an omnibus, is just going to be a must buy for me. So yeah, Poison Ivy, high on my list. And that leaves us a couple of choices left here. Of course, I got to go with Nightwing. It's just been, I'm emotional about it because I'm sad that Taylor and Redondo are no longer on this run. Obviously, I got the poster signed by the 2 of them back there. It was an emotional run. I think they did a great job. even the silly tie-ins with Night Terror and all that kind of stuff worked for me. I never felt like I wanted to ever drop this series, and when they announced the end, it was very upsetting to me because I wanted this to go on longer. I do feel happy about how it finished out. I like the way they allowed for Dick Grayson to grow a little bit, to better understand how he is a value to Bloodhaven and to the Teen Titans who sort of moved into town to support him. It was a great storyline. I have not continued with it after Taylor and Redondo left. I don't know if I'm psychologically ready yet, but I'm very happy with how that finished out. So yeah, that's my number two. And that leaves us to number one. Of course, it's got to be Wonder Woman. Tom King, Daniel Sampere have just done a phenomenal job. I will say this is the best comic from the big two for me. Way better than anything at Marvel, and dominating at DC. This Wonder Woman run now on issue 16, I believe. Yes, this is the newest issue 16. It's just been great. I've had issues that made me jump and cheer. I've had issues that made me get emotionally upset about things that are going on with characters, issues that tweaked my mind and flipped the script on me. And then, of course, all the way through, Daniel Sampere is an unparalleled artist, absolutely top tier drawing. And you'll turn the pages and just be blown away by what he's doing. I know the name Tom King turns some people away, and I guess that's just the way it's got to be. I don't feel like there's anything happening on these pages that do anything but bolster and add to the great story and world of Wonder Woman. And in that way, he has a great grasp of her universe, and the people in and around her. You can't ask more from a great writer than that. And that's what he's doing, is just basically continuing her legacy going forward. And I'm here for it. It's been great. And I look forward to seeing what he does in the new year. So yeah, number one on my list had to be Wonder Woman. So let me know in the comments below, what were your favorite DC books from 2024? I know I'm going to hear a little bit of griping that Absolute books were not included. I will say, not an Absolute fan. I've been really disappointed overall by those books. Not disappointed by my channel members who are doing such a great job of supporting me and helping me keep this up and running. I really do appreciate all of them being in the chat, supporting me, leaving comments. I just appreciate all the interaction. It's been really, really great. So yeah, let me know about your favorite DC books and tune in, because I'll do a Marvel and an indie list coming soon.